Alright, you've designed something you want to print, you've checked it, it looks good, and you're ready to print. Well, let's get it ready to print from computer to USB drive. Now, one of the first things I usually do is have a couple other people look at it and make sure there's no mistakes, that they look around, make sure no floating objects, no floating letters, that they think it looks good. They might have some comments that say, hey, did you think about making this improvement? Have other people look at it. We then need to download our object, and we can do that by clicking on Export. We can choose to export just part of it or everything, and we will export it as an STL. This is downloading it. Now, after it downloads it, I like to turn around and check it in 3D Builder. So I have my computer automatically set to open in 3D Builder. 3D Builder is just another place to look at it, make sure it looks good. If I click Import Model, right here, this says one or more objects are invalidly defined. This is what we call a mesh error. Now, a mesh error is nothing serious, just sometimes in designing, the program will put a plane within the object, which kind of confuses it, and this can throw off some printers. FlashForge has a way to correct it. All I have to do is click here to repair it. Now, after it repairs it, I could save this and close it. In this case, I'm not actually going to save it because I want to show you what it looks like when I have a mesh error in my slicing software. Okay, now this is my slicing software. Before a 3D printer can print an STL, it needs to be sliced into layers for the printer to understand it. Now, some other slicing softwares that you might use in my class are Slicer or Prusa Control. Other printers might also use Cura, but today for our printers we're going to be using FlashPrint. So you'll want to load your file. Good downloads. So, like before in the 3D Builder, you can see that it has an error. Now, FlashPrint automatically fixes these errors, however, not all slicers do. And so this one's kind of nice, just hit Repair Model. Now, this laid my keychains kind of on the edge. I prefer to usually print in the middle. I can turn around and hit Move and move it more into the middle. And so you can see that I have my keychains. Some other things you can do is you can rotate them. Sometimes people share models that are sideways that you need to rotate. There might be better ways to put it. If I wanted to make them smaller, I can scale them. If for some reason I wanted to cut them, I can cut them. So a lot of things here. However, what were more important for us is our printer settings right here. Make sure you have your right printer selected. I'm going to be using a FlashForge Finder today. Okay, make sure you have the correct material. Now the Finder is limited on what it can do. Usually it's going to be always on PLA. We might use some flexible filament some other time. So PLA, whether we need supports or rafts, right now I don't need them. Here's another thing that's important, your resolution. Now for these keychains, we can just go with the fastest. If you could take the standard, it will take longer. High will be even longer, and for something simple like this, we don't need the high resolution. We can also do some more options here. Shells, infill, the speed, our temperature, and any other things. But right now I have all the settings where I want. You'll want to double check those. For some things you might print them as hollow with hollow infill. Other things you might pause them at certain levels for color change. But when you think you have everything ready, go ahead and click OK. And this is where we're going to save it. Make sure you can save it to your desktop if you are tethered to the printer. However, I'm going to be putting it in a flash drive. Now make sure you put it in the right place in the flash drive. Students would want to put their files in the student folder. If, like me, you have your own folder, you might put it in there. So I'm going to put it in here and I'm going to hit save. Now I already had changed the name, which gave it the name Keychain Spartacus, so I know what it is. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and we can actually scroll right here, and this checks the layers. This shows me exactly what it's printing. Okay, I can see that in the middle it's doing the infill and how big it is. And looks like it's going to try and print some of the name there, but I won't even see that. So this layer looks good. Oftentimes what I find is when there are errors, oftentimes I find in checking the layers, you find when there's mistakes like floating objects that you didn't see before or tilted objects. So it's really great to check the layers. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and, well, we're going to take our USB to the printer.